Joy of joys! It's great to have our cartoons back on mainstream TV, and its syndication, no less. You heard that right? Looney Tunes are back on mainstream television at the very start of this year. MeTV, which is a broadcast network specializing in airing classic TV shows, and its affiliation licensed to local stations. It's not unlike the three big networks, or Fox, or the CW, or the former UPN and WB networks. In fact, it's usually licensed to digital sub-channel, some other networks. In the greater Boston area, where this is being filmed, MeTV is the secondary channel for WCVB-TV, whose main channel is an ABC affiliate. And besides us Looney Tunes, MeTV is also airing other classic theatrical cartoons owned by Warner Media. This includes the MGM stuff like Tom and Jerry, Droopy Dog, Barney Bear, and all those other tech theory classics, and certain old Paramount shorts like Popeye and Bitty Boop. And the stuff originally produced in black and white, they actually show in black and white. Woohoo! Well, that could be because they already air a lot of old black and white TV shows anyways. But this is definitely great. I mean, it's one thing we get back in business and back to our roots with the new Looney Tunes cartoons revival. But another that we're enjoying a healthy life in the streaming market thanks to HBO Max. But it's especially great with back on broadcast television, and the other Looney Tunes are overjoyed about this. Oh yes, this is definitely a great way to start this promising year of 2021. And it's a good thing with syndication on TV again. This Cartoon Network hates us, Looney Tunes, and Tom and Jerry and the others, and though Boomerang still shows them, it's an annoyingly limited rotation, and very few people get Boomerang anyways. But besides that, cable TV seems to be dying, thanks to streaming services like HBO Max and those video-on-demand services. But regardless, if it's HBO Max or MeTV, or even the Boomerang streaming service, it's great to be recognized again by today's generation. Especially if you have parents that grew up with us and want to introduce us to them. Suffrage-succotash! It's a family tradition!
Indeed, this is definitely going to help us Looney Tunes after such a difficult long time period that began after Looney Tunes Back in Action bombed in 2003, and how only a year after that we were in danger of becoming as obscure and forgotten as the Walter Lantz characters or the Terry Tunes. But like Daffy and Sylvester said, MeTV is a very good syndication affiliation to pick up the classic theatrical shorts Warner Bros. Owns, since they specialize in classic television, showing many old live-action programs from the 50s to the 80s. And when they began rerunning the Flintstones in 2019, that was met with great fanfare, and it's been presumably doing very well there. And so Warner Bros. And MeTV agreed to expand their animation deal. Of course, MeTV is aimed at adults and is popular with family audiences. So of course these classic cartoons are aimed at older viewers. But if they are parents or grandparents, they can let their children or grandchildren watch them and introduce them to our beloved classics. Now, while the Flintstones is a prime time show and thus aired as part of their regular programming blocks, the Looney Tunes, MGM, and Popeye cartoons were another story. Generally, they have a weekday morning hour-long program called Toon In With Me, where they have human host Bill and fish puppet friend Toonie the Tuna, obviously spoofing some of those old kiddie shows that would showcase cartoons. And on Saturday mornings, they have a 3-hour block dedicated to the cartoons, thus bringing Saturday morning cartoons back to broadcast television after being absent for over 6 years. First at 7 a.m. Eastern and Pacific is an hour of Popeye cartoons and a few Betty Boop ones thrown in the mix. And then at 8 a.m., it's the Tom and Jerry block, showing the MGM cartoon classics. And not just Tom and Jerry, but also Droopy, Barney Bear, the great works of Tex Avery, and such. Then at 9 a.m. is the Looney Tunes block, labeled as Bugs Bunny and Friends, and they even opened it with the classic The Bugs Bunny Show theme song, This Is It. You can definitely tell it's intended for people who grew up with those classics that may also have their kids watch with them. Now, at least Cartoon Network's old Looney Tunes weekend morning block from 2001 to 2003 used an instrumental version of This Is It as a nice throwback. Back when Cartoon Network actually cared about us until our downfall. But thankfully, things have been looking up for us, even with the dreadful pandemic going on. Besides us basically going back to our roots in the Looney Tunes cartoon revival series on HBO Max, as Daffy said, our classic shorts have been doing surprisingly well on HBO Max. Probably because now people can stream the Looney Tunes more easily compared to the Boomerang streaming service, and it has a much larger library, with shorts from the early 1930s all the way up to the late 1960s, and even up to the theatrical series end in 2004. And now they are back in broadcast TV, as Warner Bros. Made a smart decision after eventually learning that giving Cartoon Network and their Boomerang the exclusive TV rights to the Looney Tunes in 2000 was a huge mistake. When after Looney Tunes Back in Action flopped, they were cancelled from Cartoon Network and just buried on the Boomerang Network, which, as Sylvester mentioned, is inaccessible to many people, even after they become ad-supported. And then we got to make a cameo in the new Animaniacs revival, myself included. And then Space Jam, a new legacy, is in the works. But that's part of Warner Bros.' plan to simultaneously release the movies in theaters and on HBO Max, as many theaters are still closed due to the coronavirus pandemic, and some people may be afraid to go back to a cinema because of the virus. And the pandemic has already hurt Hollywood in quite a few ways, and even our arch rivals Disney and Pixar were affected. When Onward bombed, partly due to the pandemic spreading, and partly due to unusually subpar marketing on Disney's part. But for now, they plan to just create content exclusively for Disney+, like the latest Pixar movie Soul going straight to there, compared to Warner trying to cater to the best of both worlds, with the simultaneous theater and HBO Max plan. And unlike the Mulan remake that was released several months ago, these movies that'll be on HBO Max will be at no additional charge, so you can still use your regular HBO Max plan and everything. But with all this going, I hope Warner does a good job marketing Space Jam: A New Legacy, since I remember the original one did get Warner a good job marketing the original, and it went on to be the only movie from Warner's former feature animation division to be successful at the box office. Seems for a long time Warner Bros. Was kind of the bad luck Hollywood movie studio when it came to animation. But thanks to Warner Animation Group, that seems to be changing. Ever since the Lego movie made it big, and Warner Bros. Realized they can be successful theatrical animation if done right. So here's to hoping Space Jam: A New Legacy is a success and helps keep us Looney Tunes alive for a good long time, especially now that we're in this decade of the new 20s. In 9 years, the franchise will be 100 years old. Well, they do say the years seem to go by faster as you get older. But besides that, keep watching us Looney Tunes on MeTV and HBO Max, and also keep watching this YouTube channel to see whatever I, Zach Wolf, or whoever does next.